Hello, Ron Mithril here once again, continuing some Silent Hill 4 analysis, and for this, I don't think we want to just stare at the halo of the sun the whole time. John Cosseth was nice enough to send in some great fan art, so want to put that up on Still Store, Cambot? There we go, excellent. So yes, this time around, I'm hoping to get some conversation going, really. There's some plot points in Silent Hill 4 that just don't make sense to me, and I'm wondering if any fans of the game out there can shed some light on them for me, to see if any of it makes sense. So, let's go ahead and get into it. The first one is a pretty major plot point in the game, the ultimate MacGuffin, Walter's umbilical cord. What in the world possessed Frank to hang on to it? Even he doesn't know. It's not like Walter was born into the cult after all. If he was, one could make the case that he already had some otherworldly influence on him or such that might have controlled Frank to hang on to the cord. Yet, nothing of the sort is in place. As such, it just all feels rather contrived. I mean, sure, it's a good thing he held on to it, but he had no reason to do so. Next comes the issue of order amongst the 21 Sacraments. I slightly covered this in the video about them, a strange circumstance within the 10 Hearts murders. It's strange how the Building World massacre is separated by 3 other victims murdered in other places. In the information given about Eric Walsh, it even states that he was given the day off because of the murders that took place at Garland's Pet Store and Albert's Sporting Goods, the first 2 murders of the massacre. Yet after those 2, instead the order shows George Ralston, a member of the church, and the Locane twins, who were definitively stated to have been killed outside their house, which isn't shown anywhere in Building World at all. However, there's a far greater question of order that comes across through the whole game, especially the second half. Given the fact that Walter numbers his victims, it would seem order is important to the ritual. However, the entire otherworld, which conceivably is under Walter's control, is constantly trying to kill Henry. In the second half of the game on, even Walter himself is directly trying to kill Henry before Eileen is down. Isn't Walter kind of working against his plan thus, trying to take Henry down before the other 20 are all gone? The otherworld itself is a little puzzling to me as well, in the sense of how one gets into it. Now, obviously Walter has some influence over Room 302, given his mortal body is stashed there. So the whole letting Henry in to start fulfilling his role as the receiver of wisdom, okay, I can get that. But how about the others? Let's go with the theory that the windows, peephole, and the hole in the wall are indeed just sort of windows to the real world that don't actually go anywhere. This, after all, would be how Eileen could still be in the normal world, yet Joseph and later Henry could still keep an eye on her. Yet the hole in the wall couldn't be widened enough for them to escape 302. So going with this theory, at the start, Henry sees Cynthia going down the stairs into the subway in the real world, and then, suddenly, boom, she's in Subway World. How did that happen, and to her alone? She claims it was all a dream, so did she fall asleep in the subway or something? And what influence did Walter have over the subway? His focus is pretty solidly Room 302, isn't it? Sure, the other world he creates can reflect his memories, such as his abuse at the water prison, his rampage through Building World, things like that. But how is he pulling the victims into his specific otherworlds when they're not in 302? It's a puzzling thing. There also seem to be some issues reconciling the record of Walter Sullivan shown back in Silent Hill 2 with the one we know from Silent Hill 4. According to that report, Walter showed fear when he was apprehended, and looked for someone to blame the murders on, claiming it wasn't his fault, that the Red Devil made him do it. Now, they tried to reconcile the Red Devil reference by giving one of his victims the title of Red Devil, Jimmy Stone. However, they sadly seem to have given this title to the wrong victim. If the Red Devil made him do it, then it really should have been George Ralston that got the title, as the story claims he was the one to set Walter on the path of the 21 Sacraments, not Jimmy Stone. We also have the issue of the original Walter sounding fearful of what he did, like he didn't want to do it. Yet the Walter we know from 4, according to backstory, actually signed the corpses of his victims. It sounds like he was pretty proud of what he was doing. There's also the question of just where Walter's grave is, since in Silent Hill 2, Walter's grave is found somewhere supposedly near the Historical Society, rather than Wish House. Of course, it's Silent Hill's weird dimensions, so who knows what can be believed there. There's also the question of just how he selected his victims. Sure, some make sense, such as Cynthia being temptation, Eileen being mother, Andrew being watchfulness, but others, especially the 10 hearts, seem rather strange. The scripture refers to that part by saying, "Offer up the blood of the 10 sinners." Just what sins were committed by some random guy at a sporting goods shop, a watch repairman, and a pair of innocent kids? Finally, there's the involvement of Dahlia in all this. Why would she have had interest in this at all? Beyond the conflicting reports of it being now one of 3 people that set him on the path, Jimmy Stone, George Roston, and now Dahlia Gillespie, there is one more underlying problem in this. Dahlia's interest was always bringing about the creation of an eternal paradise through the birth of God. So why would she have even touched the 21 sacraments? The game seems to make it out to be a forbidden passage even in the Order's own religion. Their own texts seem to dispute it, claiming the Holy Mother be not holy one whit, and the 21 sacraments be not sacramental one whit. So that being said, it still seems strange that even as a backup plan, Dahlia would have had any part of this. So yes, I'd be interested to hear some fan theories or explanations for any of this. It'd be nice to try and make more sense of things here. Silent Hill 4 is far from the worst game I've ever played, but it does bear some signs of rushed writing and design. However, one can't blame that fully on Team Silent. There are more issues at work here, and we'll discuss them next time. So with that, thank you very much for watching. I hope you're enjoying the series so far, and I shall see you again next time. Until then, fare thee well.